Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to Zeroth Quarter Podcast. So, um, this is going to be just a sports podcast about different subjects, not just my favorite team, the Steelers. We're going to talk about different teams. We're going to talk about different sports. I'm going to include friends as much as I can with this because we'll be in the Discord. It'll be, 10, 11, midnight, and we're just talking sports. That's all we're doing. So I'll try to include some of that, and it'll be topics about just teams. I am very much open to any requests that you guys have. Not sure how often uploading will be. It could be, in once every couple days. It could be once a week. It's going to be a bit of a feeling out process. I doubt it's going to be once every day. Because I do have a different main channel called Pit Steel. And that's, I make a video on that like once every 3 days. So I could potentially have this as a once every 3 days as well, but we'll see how it goes. And maybe I just do once a week. I don't know. It depends on really what's happening. So, what do the Steelers need is going to be the first thing we talk about on this channel. So, what do the Steelers need? Now, they need a few things. So, I'm not going to talk about coaches or anything like that because it's like, or GM, because, like Colbert's retiring. So, yeah, they need a GM. They promoted Terrell Austin as a defensive coordinator, and they hired Brian Flores. And we can talk about that stuff too if you guys want. I can have a video for that. But I'm just going to talk players. What do they need? So, obviously, Ben Roethlisberger has retired from the NFL. And right now, here's the quarterback situation. Mason Rudolph. That's it. Dwayne Haskins is a restricted free agent. The Steelers can choose not to re-sign him. They can. And if they do, Mason quarterback will be the only quarterback on the Steelers roster with a contract for this upcoming season. Now, it is reported that the Steelers plan to tender Haskins. So then if a different team chooses to sign him, then the Steelers can either match that offer and he has to sign with the Steelers, or if the Steelers choose not to, they get some sort of compensation. Now, if it's original round tender, yeah, he's not getting signed. But it could be a 6th, 7th round tender, and the Steelers get that team's 6th or 7th round pick, whatever it ends up being. So, because do you want to take a chance on Dwayne Haskins, that potential, if it's for a 6th or 7th round? Maybe. So, there is that possibility too. But, for right now, we're going to assume Dwayne Haskins gets tendered and he remains with the Steelers. Because if no one offers him a contract, he signs the tender and that's it. Mike Hilton did that for a while too. So did Alejandro Villanueva. And then they eventually got, Villanueva spent some time with the Steelers on actual unrestricted free agent contracts, and Mike Hilton got a big contract with the Bengals. So that would leave the Steelers with two quarterbacks. Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins. Now, Josh Dobbs, he's a quarterback who was drafted by the Steelers. He's spent some time in their system. He could be a quarterback where you get him on vet minimum, 1-year deal, bring him back. So Josh Dobbs is a possibility as well. I have not heard anything about Josh Dobbs. If you guys have, let me know in the comments below. But let's just assume we're rolling with Mason and with Dwayne. So, Kevin Colbert has said he wants to sign another free agent, or he wants another quarterback, whether it be a free agent and or drafting one. But if the season started today, Mason Rudolph would be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not surprised. He's entering his 5th year in the league. And, Dwayne would just be coming into his 2nd year with the Steelers. Mason's been with the Steelers for 4 full years. Dwayne 1. Mason knows the system. So, who's going to be the quarterback that gets brought in, or quarterbacks that get brought in? And I think there's a few options. I talked about this actually on my other channel. And I explained, went through a bunch of quarterbacks and who that could be. So, you're looking at maybe like a Marcus Mariota on a 1-year prove it. There could be a Mitch Trubisky on a 1-year prove it. There could be trade for someone, Jimmy Garoppolo. Go big or go home and try to trade for Derek Carr. And I think that's a realistic go big or go home. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, that's going to cost way too much that the Steelers are not willing to pay. So, but nonetheless, they need a quarterback. Whether it's trade, free agent, or drafting someone, whether it be Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, there's the kid from North Carolina, Sam something. There's Ole Miss, Matt Corral. There's a few quarterbacks, whether it be draft or free agency trade. The running game, I think it's fine with Najee as the starter. You could go get a complimentary back. Either, maybe a cheap veteran. Because I don't think Benny Snell is that guy as far as backup running backs are concerned. So, wide receivers, it's possible you lose Juju. It is. If you do lose Juju, that leaves you Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, James Washington's a free agent. You got Ray. That's about it. You have Deontay, Chase, and Ray that were actual starters, 53-man roster guys. Anthony Miller, he was practice squad. Cody White was practice squad. So you're going to be looking at wide receiver. 1 to 2 guys, depending on if you re-sign James or Juju. But you're going to need a receiver or 2. Again, free agency or trade, draft, whatever. Tight end, you are perfectly fine with Pat Freiermuth as your starter. Though, to be honest, you're probably going to need another tight end to compete with Zach Gentry for that number 2 guy. Zach Gentry, with the Steelers' new offensive system, because what the Steelers did for years was 2 active tight ends and the 3rd guy's inactive. This year, they had 3 tight ends active all year, except for when a guy was injured. In that case, they only had 2. But, Zach Gentry actually got some playing time this year, which, yay for him. So, but you need another guy. You need someone to be behind Freiermuth, whether, again, free agency, trade, draft. The offensive line needs to be fixed, because otherwise you're going to end up with a quarterback like Joe Burrow that's getting hit 50 times in the regular season and 20 times in the playoffs. It was 51 and 19, I get that, but in an entire season, regular season and playoffs, he got sacked 70 times. You got to figure he got hit at least 100 times at that point. Probably at least 100, at least 125, maybe even up to 150. I'm sure you could find that stat. So, you need to fix the offensive line. Where I think you're good, left tackle, Dan Moore, I think you're fine. Left guard's going to be Kevin Dotson. It is. I've heard people say his more natural position is right guard, which, if that is, fine. He can play right guard. Kevin Green, I'm sorry, man. You're not a center. You have to go play guard. So, if Kevin Dotson wants to go play right guard, great. You go play left. If he wants to play left, fine. You go play right. But you're playing guard, the two of you. Center and right tackle. Chukwuma Okorafor, your contract's expiring. You came in the same draft as Mason Rudolph. That's 4 years, my man. And unless you come in on the cheap, you gone. Trey Turner, he's probably going to leave, which is why the right guard position's filled up. So, you need a center and a right tackle. Free agency, trade, draft. I don't care. That's the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball. Minka, he's fine. He's a Pro Bowl, All-Pro safety. So you're fine at free safety. Strong safety, Edmonds. Edmonds had some nice plays this year, so it's not a pressing concern to upgrade at the strong safety position. Now, my opinion is Edmonds is a box safety. He's Jamal Adams. He's a box guy. I would not be angry if the Steelers moved him from the safety position to a linebacker. Pull a Marcus Allen, because he was a safety and he got brought into the box as a linebacker. Make Edmonds a linebacker. Go get a safety. I would not be mad at that. I don't think that's going to happen, but just a thought. So he's going to play strong safety. It's not a pressing need. Could you upgrade? Definitely. Do you really need to if you're really concerned with other positions? No. Corner. Joe Hayden, he's probably gone. I'm honest. He's probably gone. So that would leave you Ahkello Witherspoon, Cam Sutton, James Pierre, Justin Lane. You need a corner. You do. Free agency, trade, draft. Don't care. You need another corner if Joe Hayden truly is leaving. Ahkello Witherspoon, you can't let him leave. Simple. Because he came on strong once he actually got a shot. So you can't let him leave. Then the defensive line. You have you have Cam Hayward, Tyson Alualu. I think he was on a 1-year deal, and he had a season-ending ankle injury. You need to bring him back. You do. Chris Wormley, he's fine, but we need Tyson. Because our run defense was horrifically bad this year. Tuitt. Here's a tough subject on Tuitt. He didn't play at all this year. If you go look at my video midway through the season on my other channel, pit_steel_. If you go look at that, I said that Stephon Tuitt probably won't play at any point this year. I was right. He did not play a single snap this year. And it's tough because you want to feel bad for him. Because his brother was killed in a hit and run. And I guess it's believed that while he was grieving his brother's death, he got out of shape. Then he was training to get himself back in shape. Then he injured himself while training. And then didn't play. Just didn't play. And it was very, very mysterious. There weren't a lot of details. It's what's going on with Tuitt. Like, what is happening with this guy? Why isn't he playing? So, like, it'd be sad to see this happen. But if Tuitt can't play this upcoming season, you got to cut him. You do. I heard a thing, if he retires, then it saves the Steelers some money. It's a possibility he retires. So I can't rely on Tuitt to be there next year. So you got to go get another guy on the line. You do. Trade, free agency, draft. Fullback, Derek Watt's a free agent. Re-sign him maybe, and then see if you can get JJ to come here. Because then you have TJ, JJ, and Derek. You have all the Watts on one team. I wanted that a year ago. I still kind of want it now, though JJ's consistently hurt, so it's a risk. So you need someone. You might have a JJ. Trying to think of who's going to be a free agent. I'm sure the Rams have a couple guys, because they had their super team, though the thing about a super team is it typically doesn't lead to a dynasty. So some of their guys are probably going to want to get paid. The Buccaneers, they have a lot of free agents. Some of those guys are going to want to get paid, because even then, all the guys that wanted to win the Super Bowl, hey, Tom Brady, he went down to Tampa, let's go, and they did, and they brought everyone back. So it's possible that that we don't see a lot of those players re-sign with those teams, go elsewhere. Not necessarily to the Steelers, just go elsewhere. So then you just got to get someone. You do, because I can't rely on Tuitt. I can't. If he decides he wants to come back and he's healthy, great, fine. I will welcome him back, but you can't rely on him right now. You can't. Outside linebackers, we're good. TJ, reigning defensive player of the year. Alex Highsmith, a very nice compliment. If you want to go get a depth guy, we tried doing that with Melvin Ingram, and he forced his way out. Much like Antonio Brown did. Much like Le'Veon Bell did. He was selfish. And here's what the reports were saying. Is that he was saying that he was better than Alex Highsmith, and he was not happy with his playing time. It's like, well, okay, you're not better than TJ, so you have some sanity. But in my opinion, Alex is better, not you. So he forced his way to Kansas City, and, that's whatever. So go get a depth guy at outside linebacker. I don't see the need to go spend a ton of money on someone. I don't. I know, a couple Cowboys are going to be free agents. There's a lot of outside linebacker or middle linebacker could play outside that, are going to be free agents this year. We'll see what happens. And speaking of middle linebacker, that's the next one. Middle linebacker. Joe Schobert, he was hit or miss. Was he worth a 6th-round pick? Yeah. Plus, the Steelers really didn't have to pay him all that much. The Jags took the blunt of his salary. So, I'm okay with that trade as a whole. But I think he has a pretty large cap hit next year, even though he was cheap this year. So you got to restructure or drop him, one of the two. So Joe may have to go. Joe Schobert, that is. I don't want Joe Hayden to go, but Devin Bush. Ryan Shazier said he has to spend more time in the film room. When Ryan spent more time watching film, things clicked more. so he was able to use his athletic ability to make plays. Devin's got to do the same. Watch the film, because then when it clicks here, that athletic ability will help you make a lot of plays. So there's that. Then what else? Who else are the middle linebackers? Ulysses Gilbert. He's a special teams depth guy. Marcus Allen, same special teams depth. So you really could use a good middle linebacker. I don't know who would be available as far as free agency. I could see trading for someone, and I could see drafting a guy. So there are some things the Steelers need to clean up. They need a quarterback. They need a backup running back. They need a receiver. They need a center, a right tackle, a backup tight end. They need another guy on the line just in case Tuitt can't play or doesn't play. Backup outside linebacker, middle linebacker. You need another corner. And if you run out of money and you run out of resources, you run out of picks, you run out of everything, it's okay. You didn't upgrade at strong safety. Edmonds is fine. He is. So that is it. Those are the upgrades that the Pittsburgh Steelers need to make in order to be able to at least semi-compete next season. So if you guys are excited for more of these, you guys can request teams. Now, I know the Steelers really, really well. They are my team. If you guys want to request a team, I can do that. I just got to do research on their free agents. I got to do research on probably their rankings. And that's the thing. I know some knowledge of each team. It's a little knowledge here, a little knowledge there, a little more knowledge if you're in the division. I know a little bit about a lot, and then a lot about a little. So you guys, I'm open to requests on teams, on topics. So it's like, hey, talk about Brian Flores getting hired. Talk about his lawsuit against the NFL. Talk about this. Talk about that. Give me requests, okay? And then every once in a while, it's going to be a random topic from what we were talking about in the Discord. So, if you guys did enjoy this, please leave a like. And if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. See you guys next video. Later.